They were one of the very first organizations in Michigan to advocate for people with developmental disabilities and their families. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the President and CEO of the Washtenaw Association for Community Advocacy, Kathy Homan. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here today. I appreciate it.
Your organization has been around an awfully long time. How many years and how did it all get started and why was it founded?
It started in 1949 by a group of parents who couldn't understand why their kids with disabilities couldn't go to school. So they formed the organization, they got their own school buses, they built their own school, and their kids went to a separate school. It evolved into why can't our kids go to public school and moving them into public school, and that's how we started.
And how has it grown and changed over the years? I would imagine an awfully lot, it looks an awful lot different today.
It has. We've come a long way for people with developmental disabilities. So we've used to be that you would go into an institution. If you had a developmental disability, you would be institutionalized. You weren't in society. So now we've said we've closed all the adult institutions in Michigan, and we've put people back into homes, into their communities, being able to do the things that everybody else gets to do. So it has changed a lot.
And then how do you, specifically your organization, how are you a resource? How are you helping families and those with the developmental disabilities?
So we do advocacy from birth to death. We span the lifetime of people with developmental disabilities, and we work in Social Security advocacy, Department of Human Service advocacy, school advocacy. We go in and do meetings at all those places. We help those people with developmental disabilities in supported choice making. We're not in there to make the choices for them. We're in there to help them express their needs and get the services that they need.
So who would be a typical client, and how would they find you? Would a school refer them to you? Would it be somebody maybe who's having troubles and issues getting where they want to be, and they're sort of reaching out and looking for help? How did you get paired up with your clients?
We've been around for so long, so we get them from the community all over the place. We've had people as far as California call for us to ask for information, but typically it comes from the schools, from word of mouth, from other parents, from other parents with older children. We get calls from the local hospitals, social workers asking us for help, looking for resources, for technical questions. We get from everywhere. I mean, we've just kind of been there so long, everybody knows us.
It sounds like really you know how to navigate the system, how to advocate what your rights are, what the rules are. This is who you need to talk to, what you need to do. It's kind of a roadmap, if you will.
It is, and the systems are so complicated and so tough to understand. We often say we speak several languages, so we speak Social Security language, we speak Department of Human Service languages. There are tons of acronyms. They're very complicated systems, so we can help people navigate those.
You mentioned way back when, 1949, certainly it wasn't that long ago when we were still putting people in institutions. Not anymore. Have we made a great amount of progress? Are we still making progress? Are we serving those people with developmental disabilities well today?
We had been doing a really good job. We still always have some room for improvement. But recently with the budget cuts coming across the state and the budget cuts coming down to the community mental health who do services for people with developmental disabilities, we've lost some of those services. So people are stuck in their home, and that's a little different than changing the place of where the institution is. They're not able to get out into their community as they'd like to because of the service cuts.
It sounds like we're almost moving backwards a little bit.
We are, and that's really sad. We're also seeing it in schools, where schools are starting now to go to more self-contained classrooms, where we've always said kids with developmental disabilities belong in a regular classroom included. Now they're going back to it's easier to put them all into one classroom together away from kids without disabilities.
All right. Well, thankfully, there are organizations like yours out there still today. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
For more information on the Washtenaw Association for Community Advocacy, you can visit washtenawaca.org. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Kathy Homan, the president of the Washtenaw Association for Community Advocacy.